Okay, so for today, this is a Monday. This is the 9th of October, and it's a lot of stuff today. I'm going to go pretty quick because we are taking a top 20 test today that we put off last week because I needed to give you more time for that test. It paid off, though. The results on that test were really good. You're getting your test back today. If you did get a bad grade on it, it's actually the best time ever to get a bad grade because the cumulative is like happening 3 days from now. So you can have it go in the grade book for only like a few minutes. Here's some typical scores from that test. 90, probably doesn't want to retake. 85, probably wouldn't want to retake. 90, 95, 95, 85, 100, 95, 95, 85, 90, 100, 95, 95. Okay, so they're really good. But there's going to be a 60 in here somewhere. I'm not going to name any names. But they would probably want to do corrections. Why? Because if you don't do corrections, you don't qualify to make the test on Thursday count as a retake. Everybody takes the test on Thursday. That's one thing I need to dispel also. Some people think, oh, so you're saying it's only the people who need to retake? No. Everybody takes the test on Thursday, and it's a covers everything test. It covers everything we've done so far. It is a review test. And this right here, find it on your iPad, is the cumulative number 1 review, which has an answer key and everything. It's really slick. It's like a practice test, a practice of everything we've done so far. And you know what? It's not actually everything. It's actually only everything we've done in the last 2 chapters. The one before that, the very beginning, that algebra review test, it won't have that stuff on it. Okay? The top 20 doesn't have that stuff on it either. Okay, so the only thing this is the one I'm about to hand back to you right now, that one. It's got that stuff on there again. And this could be a retake on Thursday. Now, how does it be a retake or not? Let's say he's got an A on the test. He doesn't probably want that to count as a retake then because, why risk your A? You already got an A. So he wouldn't sign the little box that says, do you want this to count as a retake? Okay. On the other hand, let's say you need a retake because yours just came out not so good and you were thinking, I don't want to C in my grade. So you study really hard for the test on Thursday, and there's a little box that says, do you want this to count as a retake of this test or that test? You better know which test you failed, okay? And then you sign the little box. I go back and look at it, and if you do better on the retake, I give it you the better score. All right, so it's a great chance to raise your grade. You really can't go wrong with this. Like, you might as well, if you do the corrections, that's where you could really hurt yourself. You do better. And I would have replaced your score with an A, but you actually did a lazy slug and didn't do any corrections because you just didn't feel like it. Well, then, tough. You're not going to get a higher score because that's part of the deal. You have to do corrections if you want to be able to have a retake. Yes? Top 20s are a separate little test because the top 20s aren't on this cumulative. So if it was, then I could do that. But this cumulative doesn't have any top 20 stuff on it. I mean, it does. It's like buried in problems, little here and little there, but it's not like an actual top 20. Top 20s are simpler. You don't have to do corrections. All you got to do is realize what you did wrong, get a little smarter, come in and take it again. But I will tell you, just taking it again only usually makes you go up like maybe 1 point. Study for it first. It really helps a lot. But you don't have to do any corrections for a top 20. All right, so this worksheet, have you found it? If you have, would you please turn your iPad my way so I can see this top set right there? Actually, scroll it up a little bit. Show me that colorful little red symbol. That'll be easy for me to see. Scroll it up a bit. And I'm seeing who I'm still waiting for. I have almost everybody with me. Yay, okay. So, this whole thing is not due till Thursday. That's when the cumulative is. Could you wait till Wednesday night and do the whole thing? Yes. Now, one thing to warn you about, don't assume, so I didn't really have to do that. It's just practice for the test. No, it's an assignment. It's going to count. If I printed it out and handed it to you, I would have collected it. In this case, I'll have to have you Dropbox it on the day of the test. So do it. I will be putting this in the grade book. I don't have enough homework in there as it is. This will be a perfect one to do because I really want you to do this. It's great practice. It's also got a key there, so there's no excuse why you couldn't have a straight A on it. Okay? All right. So do you have homework? Yes. Is it due tomorrow? No, it's due on Thursday. Next, do you have a project? Yes, it's about to be described to you right now under Desmos. So here's Desmos. If you haven't already got Desmos open, open it up. And then type in the equation for a circle. X squared plus y squared equals 5 squared. And that'll give you a circle with a radius of 5. And then let me show you how you can build little pieces. Like, let's say you want to make a face. You can go like this. Let's say I wanted to make an eyebrow. Would you agree that y equals x square root? Sorry, I should back up one. Go back up one. Square root of, that's this thing, x. That if that was moved up a little bit and over a little bit, it could sort of look like an eyebrow. It could. I'm going to go inside and move it to the right a little bit. Let's say I want to go right by going minus 3. You get I just moved it to the right? Maybe I feel like I went a little too far to the right, so then I change it to minus 2. There, okay, now I want to move it up. You picture I go over to get out from underneath the square root, and then I say plus 3. I just said equals 3, sorry. Plus 3, and now I just moved it up. And now I feel like I went too high. So maybe I should go plus 2. That's pretty good. All right, that could be an eyebrow, but it's going forever. How do I get it to stop? I use a little scripty parentheses. Do you see this ABC button? It doesn't have, you can't use normal parentheses. It doesn't. I tried it. It doesn't work. You got to use these scripty ones like this for set notation. And then you say x has to be what? And notice my function disappeared. Don't freak out. X needs to be less than, let's say, 5. Do you get I cut off? It doesn't go forever now. It stops right there. Now, you're pretty strange if your eyebrows stick out that far past your head, okay? So I'm realizing I probably shouldn't have said 5. Maybe I should have said 4. And now I just shorten it up. See what I mean? Now maybe I should say 3.5. There. Now I got an eyebrow. It's kind of raised a lot, though. Maybe if I want it to be a little lower, I could make it vertically shrink. I'll use a 0.5 in there. Ooh, now I'm getting closer to an eyebrow. And then maybe I put another circle in that's x squared plus y squared equals, let's make it a small circle. I have a radius of 1. That's still too big. Maybe I only want a 0.5 radius. And now I want it to move to the right. So then I go in here with my x, and I say, I want it to go right to, and there, I just moved it to the right too. And let's say I want it to move up 1. Put a parenthesis around this. I'm just trying to show you the process, the creative process. And let's say I want to move it up 1. I got to go minus 1. There. Now I got an eye with the eyebrow, and it's, I know, it's not beautiful. Look at what some kids have done. I'm going to go back in here and show you some examples. They're in this little folder here called Transformations Project. Here's a description of all the functions you got to use. Like it says, you got to use a circle, you got to use a square root. But holy cow, look at under Example Transformation Project. I don't think many of you are going to be doing that.
Oh my gosh.
Too much free time. Yeah, I get what you're saying. So some people just have a gift in the area of art, and they can like do stuff that's incredibly good. Now you might be saying to yourself, wait a minute. I don't see any circles. Well, there are circles. They just stretched them. Do you see, like over here on the ear, that's a stretched circle? Do you know how to stretch a circle? Hint. x squared plus y squared equals, let's say 25 is a great big circle. If you want to stretch it and make it like an oval, if you throw a 3 here, Desmos will instantly tell you what it does. Know what I mean? And you'll see, oh, it's stretched this way. Which way would you think it would stretch? Well, try it. Think, okay, maybe I think it's going to go this way. Put a 3 in and see which way it actually does stretch. So anyway, you can definitely stretch things. These drawings would be terrible if you weren't able to like stretch things or flip things. Or do you get that they took a parabola and they stretched it and they flipped it to make that little red part right there? That's a stretched parabola that's been flipped. Like here's a parabola normal. Then they flip it. Then they move it. Then it gets up here and they stretched it out a little bit. So that's the kind of thing that you would do. Now, I know some of you are totally intimidated, right? Like I could never make that. Others of you are instead challenged, like, I could make something better than that. All right, I'm going to go to a different one that's a little more reasonable. Like, I think most of you guys could do it. Examples. And I think it was the third one down. This one's a little more doable.
Oh, there we go.
You can make a circle. You can make a half circle. You could make a upside down V shape that's been moved. You know what I mean? This is all pretty simple shapes. By the way, do you know how to make a line that just goes across like that? It's the line y equals -2 because it's down here at -2. And it would go forever, right? Then you have to say after it in the little scripty stuff, y equals -2, but I only want it to go between -2, x is bigger than -2. And then you make another little scripty thing. And I want x to be less than or equal to 2. Bigger than or equal to -2, less than or equal to 2. That's how you could get a little piece of a line like this. And then the upper part of it is just, again, an absolute value got flipped over. All right, so that's a little more doable one for a lot of you, but some of you guys have that artistic ability, and I'd love to add another to my collection there of cool projects that kids have done over the years. But we included this one because it's decent and it got a good grade. This would get an A because it's got everything.
Is this summative or formative?
It's a good question. This is in the summative, in the 90% category. So, but like I said, do you have to make the incredible Egyptian nun or whatever that thing was? No. This could get a straight A. How are we going to judge it? We're going to judge it based on, did you use all of the shapes? You have to use a circle. Did these guys use a circle? Did they use an absolute value? Yep, it's right there. Did they use a parabola? There's part of a parabola, the upper part of the mouth, and there's another one on the lower part of the mouth. Yep, they used a parabola. So basically, you got to use every shape. And there is a few points in there for, did you do a quality job or did you just do a really crappy job? This one at least looks like something. I can tell what it is. You can't just do modern art. Like, whoosh, with a splash of this and a, no, that's not going to work. Yes? I know, some of the most expensive paintings ever sold are modern art, but you get how incredibly easy that would be. It's like, Mr. Server, you're crushing my soul. This is my art. You have to actually make it look like something. Okay? All right. Now, if you actually make a pattern of something, some kind of a really cool pattern, I can even buy that. It can't just be a bunch of random stuff you throw on the page and then say it was art. Okay, that's not going to work for this class. And I know it wouldn't even work in an art class because they have standards to make something actually considered beautiful. All right. So that brings us almost to the end of the time that we have. All we have left then is I'm going to hand back your tests, and most of you are going to go, yay, I got a good grade. And like 2 of you are going to go, crap, I did badly. The 2 of you that did badly, you're going to probably want to take a correction sheet. They're going to be sitting right here. Then The rest of you that did fine, you're just going to keep it with you while you take the top 20. It's not like it's going to help you. You're just going to keep it out because I'll need it back at the door as you leave. So pretty much from now, we're going to take the top 20, grade the top 20, and then you're going to leave giving me your graded top 20, and the test that I'm about to give you, you're going to have to give it back to me. All right, and that's all I have for the video for today.